Testing. All right, microphone still good. Fitting. We got Sonic the Hedgehog music playing too while we're doing this. Doo-doo. Today, for starts, I am Crafty Andy, and this is where we art. I'm doing some artwork for the Crafty Arts channel. You can see it on the screen there. I also wanted to catch up on this whole Actman business. Actman! Poor Actman. He made a joke on Twitter, and he got his channel demonetized completely. He made This guy named Quantum TV found out this other YouTuber, Actman. He found out where he lived. He found out where his mother was and called up his mother, harassed her about the Actman's video that was made about Quantum TV. Actman responds with a long, lengthy video of all the violations Quantum TV has done on the YouTube channels, on the YouTube website, and how he should be removed. And in response, that video got taken down. So he made a joke on Twitter saying, wow, there's my new series where I'm going to it's called Doxing YouTube Employees, because apparently YouTube is okay with doxing. And then he deleted the tweet, but YouTube took an exception to that, I guess, and just killed Actman's entire channel. It might be reversed. It might not be. Who knows? Hopefully, we can keep shit going. I just want to see what this interview is, though, with Philip DeFranco. I don't really care to watch, but... Franco.
Sup, you beautiful bastards? Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show. I have a wild Thursday show for you, so buckle up, hit that like button, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing that we're going to talk about today, and it should come as no surprise if you took even just a glimpse at the comment section yesterday, we need to talk about why creators small and large appear to be fucking furious with YouTube right now. And at the center of this controversy, you have a creator by the name of the Actman. Right, so where we'll start is over the past couple of days, he has tweeted that his videos have been striked and removed, and that he was going to get demonetized and going to be removed from the partner program. Also worried that and questioning whether or not his channel could be entirely removed from YouTube. And with this, YouTube receiving a ton of backlash with people saying, okay, there's really no good reason for you to do this. With one of the main theories that people were throwing around out there being that another YouTube channel had been false striking his videos to take him down. Which, for some background here, there are tons and tons of previous back and forth going between the Actman and this other YouTuber that we're not going to get into today. There is a reason that one of the videos in question here is about an hour talking about just this creator. And ultimately, my job is to try to take the news, make it consumable, get it to you, and so we're going to focus really just on what's been happening recently. One of the things you need to understand about this other YouTuber, Quantum TV, is that right now there are tons of claims, accusation videos, and other creators involved with tons of people kind of accusing this guy of being a menace on the platform. And in fact, the Actman has made videos about what he says are false copyright claims and other issues, including his most recent video, The Dark Age of YouTube, which was the first video to be taken down over the past few days, with it appearing to be taken down for nudity and sexual content, despite the fact that the video doesn't seem to include that aside from a quick cucumber joke. But in that video, the Actman notably lays out several allegations against this YouTuber, kind of summarizing them at one point, saying the community guidelines this YouTuber has violated include
external links, hate speech, cyberbullying and harassment, additional policies, ban evasion, copyright, harmful or dangerous content, child safety, and spam, deceptive practices, and scams. This whole video will be showing you the proof and also show you how YouTube is
I should be
either
able to hear me better.
or no longer enforcing these community guidelines.
Also claiming throughout the video that the other YouTuber, Quantum TV, made threats saying that he knows where the
He said I should be night pulsed. Or, yeah, I should be pulsed, as in the pulse shooting.
Not alone here with other creators, including Moist Critical and
So,
Gold, expecting
fuck
and
this
wanting
guy.
this person to be removed. And the frustration from the public has only grown, especially in the last 24 hours, because the Actman noted that he had 2 more videos that were demonetized and age restricted within a short span of time. And while clearly frustrated and critical of YouTube adding, I want to make it clear that I'm not at war tour with YouTube. I am deeply frustrated. However, if YouTube believes my videos violated the guidelines, they are fully within their right to take them down. We are in communication and I hope we can mediate a solution. Then yesterday you had the Actman putting out a lengthy statement saying he's not actually sure he believes that this other YouTuber is behind the recent removal of his videos. And with that, arguing that no one, even this person, deserves to be condemned for false charges, and saying that he thinks the problem is actually the rather severe corruption at YouTube. Soon after that, he revealed the news of him likely losing monetization and likely being booted from the partner program, but adding with that, please do not harass or make any threats against the people involved in the situation. Instead, saying if you'd like to express yourself, feel free to do so responsibly and use the hashtag #JusticeForActman. And oh boy, did people use that hashtag. With other creators also being outspoken about what was happening, like Moist Critical, in that video saying that it sucks that all creators can do to get help for their channels is to make this public spectacle online and hope that YouTube notices and cares.
Regardless of how you feel about Actman or Actman's video that started all of this, I believe everyone can agree that the strike is utter. There is no grounds for nudity and sexual
like that on fucking
content
YouTube now.
strike here. And there's even less reasonable explanation for why two completely unrelated videos got age restricted shortly after this problem was brought to Twitter.
Also with this, the Actman tweeting, warning, YouTube is trying to silence, strike, and demonetize anybody who covers the current situation. Post videos at your own risk, nobody is safe, corruption is worse than I thought. But with that, I've been covering news on YouTube for 15 years, so fuck it. Whether it's true or not, let's take a swing, because that is where the story ended until you beautiful bastards got me involved. Put on my little newsboy hat, reached out to YouTube, got a contact at YouTube to actually give a statement, and I figured one of the best ways to share YouTube's response here, their statement here, was to give them directly to the Actman and allow him my platform to respond. So that's exactly what I did. I wanted you to kind of be the first person to hear it, and then we're gonna go through your reaction and response to it. So according to YouTube, we're talking about two separate situations here. It's not apparently connected.
Okay.
One, they said, yes, the video was removed for unwanted sexualization. They wouldn't confirm to me if this was it literally just in reference to that cucumber picture, which apparently has become a massive part of it, but they did confirm it was for unwanted sexualization. So it doesn't seem like that maybe there was nudity or anything like that, because it was like, that's a YouTube system thing, but so you have that. And then they said that the suspension of monetization is actually not connected to your videos. What they said is that it is connected to a tweet of yours that has since been deleted where you threaten to dox and harass the families of YouTube employees and creator families. And this might be a paraphrasing, it might be, we're trying to currently find apparently the tweet in question.
I could send it to you.
But I think the tweet, okay, so is it accurate? I'm going to make a new series of videos and I'll be doxing and harassing the families of YouTube employees and content creators. And I believe it was posted June 6th. They can confirm
and that's how I got one of my
communicated the reason for your monetization being suspended. As far as the suspension, they referred to it as indefinite, so it could be 30 days or it could be forever.
Sent it to the guy
And
who
that's,
made a claim
and now I give you the floor, because I literally got this 5 minutes ago.
Well, first off, I want to say thanks for having me on. It's great to meet you, and it's great to be on here. It is kind of what I've come to expect from YouTube. Now, I want to preface all of that by saying that tweet saying like, I'm going to start this new series, doxing people, a lot of family fun involved. That was part of a satirical series of tweets where the first one was like a selfie, like feeling cute, might copyright strike some other content creators. And then I had another one which was like, you know, feeling something. I'm going to use my YouTube channel to promote hate speech because YouTube allows that now. So these were very clearly satirical tweets, and I pushed the boundaries on the third one, I'll fully admit that. But I did take the tweet down, and I don't think it was like a big deal. I don't think anybody thought that that was a legitimate threat. Of course, because, you know, it's because my family was doxxed, and they were doxxed like over a month ago, and YouTube took no action against that. And so I'm sitting here like angry and baffled and like filled with all these emotions, and I put out this tweet because I'm kind of just in like a fuck it kind of mood, and that wasn't responsible of me or right of me, and I want to right that wrong. You know, what's going on at YouTube is it looks bad for everyone, and there's so many great people that work at YouTube, and it sucks.
So your main thing is what you were doing, it was satire. You feel like, yeah, I understand where people could see me going a little bit too far, but I did want to confirm, did they communicate that was the reason? Just because I didn't find anything about that public prior to them issuing that statement.
I suppose if it's out now, then I can't say yes, that was communicated to me. I didn't want to say anything about it because I was told that, and I wasn't sure if I should share the reason. Again, because it's kind of like a sensitive topic.
Right.
We're talking about, you know, doxing people and families getting involved. So I chose not to relay that information to people. I don't know if you're going to, or if YouTube has released that information.
Going to what? Sorry.
Oh, like release the reason why the channel was demonetized.
Sure. Yeah. No. That's why I just want they confirmed it to me, and then I just kind of wanted to make sure because it did seem like online the conversation seems to be specifically about you and this other creator and about like this other video in question. When
This other creator who wants me dead.
it does feel like it's the same, but also two different situations, and so I was trying to get clarity there because I don't know. I feel like we were talking about before. It feels like these narratives form sometimes inadvertently, sometimes on purpose. So just to be clear, so that we can kind of get.
I'm sorry, but I'm tired of this. So, if you have a preacher, politician, anyone that says that gay people should be put to death, they should be night pulsed or whatever, night clubbed, and dog whistle for them being executed, that's a death threat. Death threats are legal, last I checked. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a death threat against me. So Quantum TV, I don't know why you're sending me death threats, but last I checked, those are illegal. Saying that gay people should be killed means that you're essentially posing a death threat to every gay person that's alive. So an average population of gay, queer people is about 9 million. In a country of 400 million people or 350 million people. Figure that one out. How Republicans see us as such a threat. But yeah, that's essentially 9 million death threats, right? What kind of prison sentence would you get for that? You individually sent out 9 million death threats. 5 years, right? It can be up there. Oh, times that by 9 million. As far as I'm fucking concerned. You think it's okay for someone to openly commit violence against someone, then I have no problem with someone openly committing violence against you. Tit for tat, motherfucker. So Quantum TV can be like, oh, I just review TVs, but on the occasional Discord server, I talk about how there's demons invading the American atmosphere, turn all your kids gay. Yeah, you know, you want to give a person like that money. Someone who actively votes against my interests. Who, with enough money, he'll likely donate to candidates and people who work against me. Have a problem with me just existing. Like, it doesn't matter how quiet I am, right? The fact that I'm fucking queer and in a gay relationship is enough for some people to just want me dead. I'm always gonna have to live with that. Or maybe not if they kill me. But for the meantime, I'm gonna have to live with that. Fuck this Quantum TV business. The first thing that should have happened when they saw those tweets was just eliminate his channel and ban any subsequent channel afterward. That's right, bitch. You can enjoy your free speech, but not on my fucking website. Not on my business. How about that? Slogan is broadcast yourself. Yeah, broadcast yourself, and if you're a piece of shit, you just exposed yourself as a piece of shit. Now get the fuck out. That's how it works. That's how it should work. Should be a fucking robot going, oh my god, he said a slur. I said a slur, therefore he's banned. All the while these actual bigots and racists, they get to stick around because they talk nothing but dog whistle all day. How immigrants are replacing all the real Americans Whatever the fuck they use, they say.
Past it. You did not publicly mention the reason you were suspended being related to the tweet because of why.
I didn't reveal that because at the time I wasn't sure what information I should be sharing. I've heard other things that I know I shouldn't share, and I didn't want to put my YouTube partner in the crosshairs. If something happened to his job because I leaked something that I wasn't supposed to, I'd be crushed. Because there are good people at YouTube, and some of them are fighting for me, and I appreciate that. So I didn't reveal that information not to mislead people, but because I didn't know if I should.
In your mind, because I know you said you wanted to kind of keep this tight, what would you love now that we have like confirmation that it's two separate situations of tweet and video? What is your ideal world of how things proceed from here? Because it does look like online things are really escalating, and so what I'm kind of hoping with this is like,
I made that tweet.
we have what they're saying, we have what you were saying. How would you like to see it?
If like, this
is your, instead of having to make a whole video on your channel, what would you say?
The biggest part is probably the doxing tweet, which even if you take that in isolation, like one tweet that's clearly satire and edgy, just leading to the entire channel being demonetized. If someone at YouTube really had such a massive problem with that, you know, I did delete the tweet, and I'd be willing to talk and have just like a short conversation about it, just to clear the air and be like, hey man, I'm not trying to attack you guys at all. Moving forward, I think there's a lot of work to be done. I know that YouTube, we don't want YouTube to be a place where witch hunting results in like people getting deleted that like this group of people just doesn't like. But when the evidence is there, and when it's like shown to YouTube that all these guidelines have been violated, I think moving forward, and copyright abuse. Nobody knows what constitutes copyright abuse on the platform. Because if you file a false claim and you don't list the video you're claiming, they consider that a fair request, and that makes no sense to me. So we need clear understanding of what they believe copyright abuse constitutes, and you know, these community guidelines. And I just hope there's more common sense introduced to YouTube when they're dealing with situations like this. I hope my channel obviously gets remonetized, and I hope those videos that were age restricted come back as well. I hope Quantum is also rightfully terminated for, you know, being so terrible on the platform. And yeah, you know, I hope good stuff comes from this. I hope other content creators aren't like silenced or demonetized. I've heard, I believe the algorithm was recently changed to demonetize videos with my name in them, with copyright abuse and false flagging. I can't verify any of that 100%, but you know, it's just.
Oh great!
I just want things. I just want the platform to be healthier.
Sure. So kind of on that note, actually, the last thing I'll say, you still kind of stand by the tweets. I have to find them where you kind of say that it's like this corruption at YouTube that is causing it, because it does feel like there is a slight conflict in the narratives and the information that was known and being kind of said to the public.
I feel like someone or some group of people is making. I feel like YouTube has made the wrong decision at every point in this. If you call that corruption, I suppose that's an interpretation for it. But I believe YouTube has had 1,000 opportunities to do the right thing, and at every turn they've chosen to do the opposite.
So thank you to Actman for his time to react to this, to share his thoughts. Also, I do want to note that after we were done with the main recording, he did want to say,
I don't want people to get all up in arms and like feel like they're at war with YouTube, because you know.
Yeah, maybe. Doing this platform and assembles an audience. My goal right now is just get enough fans so that I can just do this full time and not have to worry about like kind of YouTube advertising, monetizing my channel, or any of that shit. Channel where we talk about anything, everything, paint, draw, stories. I've been on here for so long making videos, I don't think I can do anything Granted, if YouTube wasn't here, I'd just be going on some other website. Trying to promote myself there. Uphill battle when you don't have loads and loads of cash on hand. Or you don't have a friend that knows a guy that's willing to, like, put a bunch of money and invest in you, hoping they get a return. That's one thing I like to do. I like to convince some rich fuck to invest in me. Here's a small loan of $100,000, and you know, quit your job, spend what you need to spend. You have X amount of years to turn around and make a profit. The budget, work. The documentary I watched with a guy who spent 15 years doing a sketch of Marilyn Monroe. One big pencil sketch. Highly detailed. Insanely detailed. Problem was is that if you didn't know the story behind the drawing, then they'd be impressed by it. Sketch. Nonetheless, I was given like so many thousands of dollars a month to do this thing. The idea was just to do the most insanely detailed pencil sketch. Did it. The hair alone for this Marilyn Monroe sketch, 5 years. Imagine 5 years getting up every day, 8 hours a day at least. I mean, or it's a job that you love, so you're probably going to do it long. On hair. On up hair. The difference between like animation and illustration. Animation, you spend very little time drawing, but as far as like details go, you want to be detailed when it comes to animation. The more detail you are, the more time it's going to take overall per frame. Comics are a step up as detail, but again, you want to crank out a month so you're allowed to get detailed with it. I'm doing for the generally the most detail comes sometimes, but probably only you spend 20 hours on a illustration. And all little shady details. In red. Well, it probably do. Next year, I went to try to husband's. I had no vacation days left off the time. Let's see what else was built. Are you recording there, buddy? Crashed yet? Oh, Christ.
You know, like I've been saying, YouTube is still a fantastic place that I love. We just want to get these issues figured out.
Me too.
And keep it about the issues and not try to villainize YouTube, even though I can't stop myself from doing that sometimes myself.
Which actually, kind of on this note, this story is still developing because after I interviewed him, YouTube did publicly respond to him on Twitter saying that it was because of the tweet. Yeah, main thing, y'all asked for coverage. Here's your coverage. Now with that, I pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts here? Because in general, you know, I always want this to be about y'all's opinion, but I will say one thing. It does feel like the tweet in question was very obviously a joke and satire. I know that YouTube can take safety and like anything kind of perceived as a threat very seriously, especially since, I mean, we even covered it on the show years ago when someone showed up with a weapon there. Seeing the tweet in question without just kind of like the rough read, you see the full context, it's hard not to see that as anything but a joke. So of course, whether you agree or disagree with me with that note, love to know your thoughts, but also with the rest of the story, let me hear from you. But from that, I want to take a second to thank fantastic sponsor of today's show, Vessi. You've likely heard me rave about my Vessies before, and if you still don't own a pair today, you have to get yourself a and this is huge. It's just a question of how huge it is news. We need to talk about.
Oh, that's it. Okay. I guess that's it. I want to do spikes, but I think we're going to be spending a pain in the ass time fixing his ear. realized it wasn't symmetrical. Curious about some of the video games coming out. The Callisto projects look pretty good. Also like a successor to Dead Space. Because I never did play Dead Space. I heard that 2 and 3 were pretty rough. I didn't get invested in a lot of these series like Assassin's Creed or whatever. Also glad for the most part Blizzard had it in mind, at least the developers at the time, conclude StarCraft story and Diablo. Granted, I know the expansion to Diablo is open for it, but whatever. It's dead to me. Diablo's dead. All the Blizzard franchise dead. It was a good run. I'm let them die. Craft go to the wayside. Time forget it. Let someone take its place. Gracefully. There we go. Alright, what do we do with you, Chrome stuff? I have an idea. I think this area needs to be shaded down a little more. Bring it down a little. Oh shit. Irate Gamer's still going.
Hi guys.
Too fun. I didn't like you anyways. Hey there, Heather. What in the... Crashed on that. I look it up right now. God, it better be. Some of it. No piss though. Righty. Alright, it's lesson time. It's lesson time for me. How do we do Chrome? Prismacolor markers and Prismacolor pencils. That makes... Weird. Usually when those two things come together, they form like leaves.
If you can find a pool ball or anything that's reflective, look at how it reflects the world around you. Hold it in your hands and see how it works. MC Asher, who's a wonderful kind of artist that drew illusions and a lot of different things that really messed with your eyes, had several drawings that he did where he was drawing into the contorted surface of a ball, and it was really great what he created. So what if we did this on top inside a room? So I'm going to grab this brush again, and we're going to, what you would do is I would sketch out the surface, like you would see the corner of a room over here, and then you might see the floor, the corner of the floor, and then the other room over here, but maybe it's further away, and so it's got to come back this way, and then you got another corner this way and another corner that way. So you've got all these elements inside the room, and you want to see them kind of shaped inside. You might have a window right here that follows that form, and you look at the room that you're sitting in and see how that works, because you're going to find some really fun, if you had a chair, you might see a chair that's really contorted like so and come around in a really weird way like so, and you can end up with some really cool forms inside that ball. Okay, but I want to show you, I want to move on to other shapes. So we've got the ball. You understand now how they can kind of wrap around the form. Well, what if you have a bar? Basically, it's round on the ends, but straight on, along its length. Okay, so it's the same kind of thing. You might have a little bit of a curve here, and I'm just going to hold my shift bar down. We're going to run this down, and then we're just going to create another curve right here, and I can go in and just kind of vary that. Once again, I'm just kind of I'm creating what you might have on the horizon outside. There's all kinds of variances on the horizon, different things, buildings, trees, whatever. That's all reflected right there. Let's do another one right along the bottom, just for the heck of it. If there's some dark stuff on the bottom, I'm going to erase that out. There we go. And then we can come in and get a little darker in here. Whoops, let me put another layer. There we go. We'll put it underneath. We'll go in here. Just create it a little darker. There. And then if we do another layer underneath, once again, we can grab the color. And I'm just going to, instead of getting the airbrush, I'm just going to keep it with a regular straight brush here. You can see just by adding these different values, you start to get some cool looks to it. There, just like that. You can see how it starts to feel like metal. And then right in the middle of that, I can go really super bright. And you might get really hot right here. And then I can hold that shift button. There.
Well, looks like I'm
so
done.
it's really hot over here because that sun might be off to the side.
All right.
And then you're getting a little bit of it, but as you go away, it's getting less and less of that sun. So you can feel like you've got this piece of metal bar, going by. Really simple. The same thing, what if you had a shape that's kind of rounded on the ends, but flat on the surface? Well, it'll be the same kind of thing, right? So if we come in here and we just come over here like this. I'm gonna bring it down real low. Maybe there's some mountains there. Bring it right up, because the sides are reflecting the world around it. Once again, it's all about looking at the surfaces, metal surfaces, and really trying to emulate what you have in those metal surfaces. And if this is outdoors, if you've got a car and you're trying to create chrome, then it's reflecting the outdoor world. Whether it's in a city or if it's the chrome bumper of a Jeep out in the country, in the mountains, whatever, that's what you're reflecting. And so these are just kind of abstract representations of what you might see out in the in the country and in the backwoods and things like that, rocks and little bits of dirt. And underneath, I can create another layer. And once again, because that ground is usually a little darker than the sky, we can get away with that. So this is basically it. This is how you do chrome and metal and all of that. And then when you start getting into things like robots and all of that, just think about these different values in the same way that we did up here on this ball in the middle. And you can start adding those variances as long as you're consistent from surface to surface. Really think about where that light source is coming from, and you're reflecting back. Even when it's abstract, you want it to be consistent. And then you can create something that looks like metal.
Good night. Thanks for coming by, Heather.
Here, I'm going to go really big with it.